Let's learn 3 neo-soul riffs that you can add to your library. All 3 riffs will build on each other, so stick around to the end and we'll groove on them. We'll have some fun. All right, let's check out the first one. I'll play it a few times. 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. All right, what I'm doing here, playing 2 chords, D9, going to G minor 7. So this is kind of like a 5 dominant going to a 1 minor. Let's check out the chord. So D9, playing it this way, middle finger rooted on the 5th fret of the A string, that's our D root. We've got index on 4th fret of D, ring on 5th fret of G, pinky on 5th fret of B. That's gonna be the 9. We wanna keep track of that. We're gonna be moving a melody around that string a little bit. Okay, from D9, we go to G minor 7. You may be familiar with this shape. It's pretty common. You can play it like this or like this, all on the 3rd fret of the low E, D, G, and B strings. But for this riff, I actually like to fret it this way. Index finger is gonna bar those 3 strings, D, G, and B on 3rd fret. We're gonna take the thumb on the low E string. This is gonna just be very smooth and ergonomic transitioning between these 2 chords. Okay, now I'm finger picking for this. If you wanna use a pick, you totally can, but if you do want to finger pick, we're gonna put our thumb, assigning it to the A string and the low E string for those roots, and then index, middle, and ring will be assigned to D, G, and B strings. Okay, here's how we're gonna start it off. We're gonna rake or do kind of a fast arpeggio finger picking thing on beat 1 of the D9, like that. And then we're gonna play a chromatic descending melody on the B string with swing 16th feel. So now what I'm doing is we're raking up on that chord. Our pinky is gonna grab the 6th fret. It's gonna slide down. Then we'll play 4th fret. You grab it with your index finger and then move right from there to the G minor 7 shape. So we're also kind of using this 3rd fret as a melody. So I'll play that real slow. One more time there. Now when we're moving to that G minor 7, that's gonna happen on the and of beat 2. So if I count it out, it's gonna go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, let's try that a few times together. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E again. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. Okay, real quick, to find more in-depth lessons and complete beginner to advanced guitar learning, make sure and click the link in the description below for a free ultimate beginner guide that includes an essential chord chart, a practice plan, a walkthrough of some beginner pitfalls to avoid, and a whole lot more. Now back to the lesson. Okay, so that was our first riff. Let's take a look at our second one. This one's more of a quick and choppy little lick. Sometimes these are called chord stabs, but this one includes a hammer-on to give more of an R&B neo-soul feel. Sounds like this. It's really quick. That's all it is. Now keep in mind we're gonna build each of these together. So this really quick chord stab here, it's all based on one of my favorite minor 7 voicings. This is also a G minor 7. Here's how we're gonna play it. You're gonna take your index to the 5th fret of D. Pinky is gonna take 7th fret of G. Middle will take 6th fret of B. And then ring is gonna take 6th fret of high E. So it's a really cool G minor 7 voicing. Root position. Okay, now let's take a look at that hammer-on that I'm doing. So if we remove our ring finger, what we're going to do is we're going to play the 5th fret of high E with our index. It's kind of acting as a bar. And then from there, hammer on your ring finger. Now this is not easy at first. It's pretty counterintuitive to hold this shape and then hammer on from index to ring in this position. It takes a little bit, but you'll get used to it. Start slow, build up the speed. Now here I'm also plucking all the strings at the same time, so it's nice and clean. Just like that. Okay, let's count this out. In our riff, we're actually playing this on the downbeat of 4 and the E of 4, so 4E. So I'll count it out from beats 1. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. All right, don't forget those swing 16ths. Let's try that again. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now let's try adding it on from our first riff to the second riff. It sounds like this. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. One more time. Hey, now if you're enjoying guitar tricks, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And hit that like button, it really helps us out. Now back to the lesson. Okay, our last riff here is super syncopated and also has a few more hammer-ons. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. One more time there. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E. 2, 3. Okay, here's what we're doing. We have 2 E flat major 7 voicings. Really fun to play consecutively in this style. Okay, the first one is kind of based around this big old E flat major 7 shape. But what I'm doing is I'm kind of letting go of this ring and playing it like this. You can totally play it this way too. So we've got our index sort of barring across the 6th fret, but you really want to make sure middle finger is on 7 of G, pinky is on 8 of B, and that we also are barring that 6th fret of high E. And those strings, the A, G, B, and high E strings, those are the only ones we're going to pluck. And you can always put your ring down on 8 of D for safety. But here, we're quickly going to move to this major 7 shape here. For this one, this is another E flat major 7. Take your index, bar it across the 8th fret. All strings. We're actually going to hammer on with our pinky, like that, to the 10th fret. So we'll be moving from here to here, and then finishing with this A flat major 7 voicing that looks like this. All right, A flat major 7 rooted here, 6th fret of the D string, index finger, and then we'll consecutively take middle, ring, and pinky to 8th fret of G, B, and high E. Beautiful root position major 7 shape here. But the fun thing about this is we have one more hammer on. So with this shape, at the end, we're going to remove middle and ring, so we're barring the 6th fret of B and G, very similar to this major 7 shape that we played earlier, but down a whole step, and then we'll hammer on those 2 fingers. It's a really fun sound. Okay, so let me walk through the movements and then we'll get to the rhythms. So we're here, E flat major 7. We go up a whole step, E flat major 7 with the hammer on pinky, and then A flat major 7 down a whole step here. And then hammer on 6 to 8, middle and ring. Okay, let's go through the rhythms. So within our full context of riff 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna play riff 1 and 2 consecutively 3 times, and then we'll get to this third riff where we play E flat major 7 starting on the and of beat 3. So it's going to be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and. And we're going to do a really quick sort of 8th note chord stab there. Okay, next we're going to move to that E flat major 7 shape here. That's going to happen on the E of beat 4. So 4 E with that hammer on, holding it for the remainder of the beat. So from here, it's 3 E and a 4 E and a, and then move to A flat major 7 on beat 1 of the next bar. We'll count 3 beats, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a, and then do the hammer on 4 E, 4 E and a. So that bar counts like this: 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, let's count out that entire third riff from E flat major 7, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, let's try that a few times together on the third riff, starting from beat 1, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a. One more time there. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, now let's try putting all 3 riffs together. Here's how it sounds when I play it all the way through with counting. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, let's try that together. We'll play it 2 times through. Here we go. I'll count you in. Let's have some fun. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 again. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2, 3, 4 E and a. Okay, I really hope you enjoy these jazzy neo-soul riffs. To really dig into the specific techniques of this style, make sure and check out all the great lessons we have over at guitartricks.com. Also be sure to enter your email for a free beginner guitar guide linked in the description, or you can find it on the next screen.